Welcome back to part 2. We're going to carry on with our shoulders workout now. This is going to be even harder than the first bit, so let's get into character. Okay, so we've hit 6 very good sets for the front delts, which is just about going to wipe them out, really. They're very small muscles, 6 sets is enough. So now we're going to go on and do the same to the rear delts and the rhomboids, which are only fractionally bigger, so we're going to do slightly more difficult exercises, but again, 2 different exercises, 3 sets on each. First one is just going to be rear dumbbell flies. I'll show you now.
The important things in this exercise are when you come up to the top position, to try and just momentarily hold it. And then when you go to the bottom, don't take the tension off, hold the dumbbells slightly apart. So you can see Kev now is working progressively through his set, and the lactic acid's building up in the muscles. Muscles are getting a good workout.
You're all right, yeah, definitely. At the moment, you're well, because you did your show Sunday, you're strictly speaking off season before you're getting ready for the next show, and you're off season at the moment. How does that change, well, more than anything, your diet and your supplementation? Does it change a great deal?
I do up my calories obviously a bit. Need to add some size, so yeah, but I'm just still keeping everything clean, allowing myself 1 cheat meal a week, so I'm not going too crazy, not doing a carb overload. It's all nice and balanced.
Not even on the pancake. She's a pancake addict.
I am.
That's it, as high and wide as you can. Hold them at the top if you can. Very good, very good. Pick and hold. And again, you can already see the rear delts popping straight out, just there.
A lot of people neglect the rear delts as well. When you consider that the shoulder's built up of 3 heads of muscle, front, side and rear, it's always the rear that's neglected.
Absolutely. What makes me laugh is that so many people will spend an hour, 20 odd sets doing their back, and they won't do the rear delts. And if you've not got the time between your shoulders and your back, then what's the point of doing your back, really? You've got to have the whole physique, the whole package, and the rear delts are a very, very important part of it. Very good.
The other thing that I find that having good rear delts helps with is, you know, you see some guys that do nothing but bench pressing, and the shoulders are like this. It's because it's too tight across here. And of course, what we're doing with working the other muscles is we're pulling the shoulders back, and therefore we get a better stance, better posture. Well, I've been off season now since last October, when I competed last, and I've not even started my prep for any competitions yet this year. So what you see, is the way I am off season. I don't believe in putting on surplus fat. I even carb cycle off season, so I do 3 low days, 1 high. I'll do that for so many weeks, and then to give myself a metabolic shock so my metabolic rate can't settle, I'll then do, say, 4 weeks of 3 high, 1 low. And for example, a low day might be 300 grams of carbs, high day might be 600 grams of carbs. So I'll do three days at 300, 1 day at 600, or I might do 3 days at 600 and 1 day at 300.
That's to keep your head down and keep low, that's good. Again, because he's such a giant, you can see here the size of the rear delts that are coming out on him. They're like as big as a normal person's fist. But nevertheless, we're not lifting massive weights, we're concentrating on style and form. As Martin was saying, you pick it up, you try and hold it at the top, which is actually impossible, but you try and get as much of a pulse at the top as you can. That'll put the muscle constantly under tension. Very good. Okay, the best tip I can give you on this is, I'll probably tell you the biggest mistake that people make on this. People always try to do this too heavy, and you'll see them in a position whereby they're just flicking the weight up and it's coming straight back down. That won't really get you any kind of effect. What you need to do is do it with a weight you can handle, so that when you're picking it up, you can see that when Anastasia was doing it, we gave her a light weight, but she was picking up and she was actually holding it up in the air. While she was doing that, you could see how the rear delts were popping out, how much pressure we were putting onto them. And obviously, if you're putting the muscles under that much tension, giving them that much work, then they will grow. It's as easy as that. So we've done 1 exercise for the rear delts. We're now going to hit another one, which will again hit the rear delts and the rhomboids. They're probably pretty tired after doing 3 sets of what we've just done. This is an absolute killer. We call this the Superman raise, simply because you try to get your body into position that Superman gets him when he flies, like this.
Bit bent.
Yeah, you need to do that to protect your elbow. If you've got straight arms, complete straight arms, you'll put too much pressure on the elbow itself. And as you see, as he gets to the top and he holds that contraction, his rhomboids are standing up like two huge fists. And again, weight selection on this is critical. It needs to be enough to stimulate, but you've got to be able to lift it and momentarily hold it like Kev was doing. When you consider 15 years ago though, I was 13 stone. So it just shows for guys that are starting out now, I was 13 stone, stick thin, 6 foot tall. But if you work at it and you're consistent with your training, consistent with your diet, it will come, but don't expect it. And when people say to me, oh, you know, what should I take? What should I do? The best thing you can do, take your time.
That's really good, doesn't it? So it's really good.
The great thing as well about using dumbbells on this exercise, Kev, is that you counter for any kind of weaknesses between the two sides because it's unilateral. You can use a bar, but then I think you're tempted more to compensate with one side for the other.
I think so. I think you can twist and use everything else to lift it when it's like this. It's very unforgiving, isn't it? Really good.
And we've all got a weaker side.
Of course.
And this helps address it.
I think we're going to stop at doing bikini and turn her into a bodybuilder. What do you think, yeah? But you've been doing it a long time as well?
Not too long actually.
When did you first step into the gym and say, right, I'm going to take this seriously?
Probably between 2 and 3 years ago.
Wow.
So,
Did you always have an incredible physique before then?
I've always been into the gym and working out. Maybe didn't have the best physique. I was always kind of a skinny fat, as it's known.
yeah.
More of a cardio queen rather than anything. But since I've hit the weights, just changed my body. And
so it really is. Would you say you take a mental decision that I'm now going to step it up to that kind of level, and that the difference shows in your body after what, a few months?
Definitely, yeah. Just from weights and clean eating and everything.
Good. Again, you can see on Martin, he's got a back and shoulders. You could probably show a movie on there if you wanted to, but you can see the way the rear delts and the rhomboids are just popping up, like, as he said, two great big fists sticking up on your back, and that's exactly what you want. Now we've done the easy work, now we're going to get to the hard stuff. Deliberately done it in this way that we do the front and the rears first, so that we can now concentrate on the important bit, the medial head, or the cap, or the crown, or whatever you want to call it, but basically the bit that gives you the big shoulder on the outside. We do our shoulder pressing, not straight up and down, but into an arc. So just come down to parallel with your arms. That's it to there. And then just pause at the bottom. That's lovely.
That's it. You need the arc. That's good.
That's it. That's really good. Pause, up in an arc, and then almost touch, and then come back down again. That's really good.
You can actually see it working, Kev. If you
Absolutely.
Look now, you can see a side delts working.
And this is the thing that we really want to build, especially on anaesthesia. We're trying to build up this cap, this crown on the outside. Well done. Very good set. And wider. Very good. That's the pause, and that's it. Lovely. Nice. Very good. And this is absolutely filled out now. The whole of the outside cap is absolutely full up. most important thing on this, again, and I know I'm boring, is style and form. You saw the way that Martin was doing it. In fact, you saw the way he was all doing, very slow, nice and wide, and then bring it to the top and not touching the weight together. The arc is very, very important. One other thing that's very, very important is that you don't come too low. You saw that with just making sure that Anastasia didn't drop it too low. There's a reason for this. Once you start coming past parallel, you're actually then putting stress on the rotator cuff, and I've actually had a rotator cuff injury, and they take a lot of getting over. So when you do these, you want to be up here, and you can come down to here. But once you start coming any lower than that, you'll feel it that the shoulder muscles are not working, they're not doing everything, they're still working, but the rotator cuff comes in once you come past parallel. So just do it into a mirror, be to parallel to there, and that will make a big difference to it. But as I say, the most important thing is that you're getting your style and your form right. After doing that exercise for the medial head, your shoulder's going to feel very tired now. We're going to finish with one last exercise. I'm a great believer in repping out, so I like to finish off on just single arm cable lateral raises, which I'll show you. On these, you can just do as many as you want. They're a very good thing for doing drop sets or just giant sets, but just repping out to make sure there's absolutely nothing left in the shoulders. But we're going to do them slightly different. A lot of people see they stand and do these and they'll be like this, dancing. Well, we're not going to do that. To take that out, you'll see the way that I'm going to hold on to this and lean into it. So the only thing that can possibly be working is the outside part of my shoulder. That's very good. Slowly down, hold it at the top. You can see what this is doing to Anastasia's shoulders right now. There's no weight, I've got the pin in my hand, but because you're doing it with such good styling, such good form, and keeping just that small medial head under tension, it's absolutely destroying the shoulders. Again, you notice the style and form that Martin's using. The man's a giant. He could probably lift a whole lot of that stack if he wanted to cheat on the rep, but he doesn't want to cheat on the rep. He wants to work his muscle. That's why he's doing a lightweight. He's doing it very good hold at the top, keeping the constant pressure on, time under tension, being the most important thing. So that's it, that is our shoulders workout. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. You'll see there that it works for just about anybody. You can see the amount of pressure that we put on everybody's shoulders. You can see the way that it made people grow. Take this with you, use it in your gym, guarantee that it'll work for you.